Hi and welcome back to our classes, dear students. So hope you would have seen the news going on around you. Yes, let's first talk about the reduction in portions for you. Okay, so I think they have reduced 30% of the portions, correct? Yes, for 9 CBSE, 10 CBSE, they have reduced 30%. For you, almost, I don't think that has been done at all. Okay, so let me tell you about that, ma'am. Okay, so the reduction in portions. As usual, the first lesson we learned physical world. I told you when we started that lesson itself that this lesson will not be asked for exams. Most of the year that is deleted only already. Once again they have deleted that lesson, so not to worry, no much change in that. And then units and measurement has no changes, ma'am. Units and measurements has no changes. Then you have what? Motion in a straight line, correct? So in motion in a straight line, they have deleted some portions which cannot be deleted at all, because without learning those frame of reference and the basic concepts, you cannot what? Learn the other topics. So obviously we have to teach that to you. Okay. Then in what is that? The other lessons are also what? All included, ma. Okay. For 11 CBSE, they only deleted some topics, ma. Okay, a very few topics. In the first volume, if you see, solid topics which have been deleted are Kepler's law, they have deleted. Okay, so Kepler's law of planetary motion, one topic they have deleted. Then from gravitation lesson, then they have deleted parallel and perpendicular axis theorem. Okay, that will be a theorem. Two theorems will be there, and a few questions based on that will be there. That they have what? Deleted. From the system of particles and rotational motion lesson, they have deleted that. In the second volume, okay, a few concepts in solid mechanics have been deleted. The Poisson's ratio, okay, all those concepts, a few concepts have been deleted, and heat engines and refrigerators from thermodynamics has been deleted. Transfer of heat, conduction, convection and radiation, that will be a theoretical topic, one-page topic, that is also what? Deleted. Then in the final lesson, oscillations and waves, you have some topics deleted, the fundamental harmonics and one more topic, fundamental harmonics and Doppler effect. Doppler effect is a very important topic, but that has been what? Deleted for you. So only a handful of topics has been deleted for you. So no much changes for 11 CBSE physics. You have to study almost everything. Okay. I usually tell you that 11 CBSE physics is an ocean, correct? Yes. Now they have taken a bucket of water out of it, and they have told that they have reduced 30% of the portion. So please don't give concentration much on the deleted portions. We have to learn a lot. Okay, so we'll continue learning. But if you see something, I'm really interested in telling you this. Last year we learned a lot of lessons, correct? In your 10th standard, now they have deleted control and coordination. They have deleted sources of energy, management of natural resources, human eye and the colorful world. The human eye part, all the defects they have deleted. Okay, so a lot of biology has been what? Deleted. Heredity and evolution part has been what? Taken out of the portions. Carbon and its compounds, second half, nomenclature, chemical reactions, soaps and detergents, everything is deleted. Okay, but in one way I'm happy that you kids had the opportunity to learn all those things. But anyway, in 11th standard there is no much changes. In 9th also they have deleted a lot of portions. Diversity has been taken out, sound lesson has been taken out. Okay, so food improvement in food resources has been taken out. Okay, so first lesson in chemistry has been taken out. So almost 4.5 to 5 lessons has been taken out in 9th and 10th CBSE. But for 11 CBSE, there is no changes at all. Okay, so this is the first information I would like to give you. Okay, so anyway, so we had the opportunity to do what? Learn a lot of concepts. Let's do that. And the second thing, I was really happy about many of the students wrote the answers for those example questions. I think 2.3 and 2.4 if I am right. Yeah, so for those questions you wrote the answer and sent it to me. I was really happy. And some students, if you're drawing the diagram, please do it properly. Okay, so if it is asked that some object or some planet is viewed from diametrically opposite points on the earth, many are drawing taking these 2 points. Okay, that is wrong. That means you have not understood the concept properly. Diametrically opposite points means what? It should be the two ends of the diameter of Earth. Okay, so you're viewing the object from the diametrically opposite points on the Earth. Okay, so and here you should meet what? These two lines should meet to form a triangle. Okay, and this will be what? The parallatic angle, and then you can do the calculation. So in many students work, I saw that you are taking it from here, and sometimes you are not completing it here. You are drawing diagrams like this, okay, where the two rays are not actually meeting and what? Making a vertex of the triangle. Okay, so that is not happening. So please do that properly. Otherwise, it's very good. Okay, most of you did your work well, and the number of moons of Jupiter I asked you, some of you sent it very good. The number of moons so far identified, the known moons of Jupiter is 79 man. So Jupiter has 79 moons. Okay, so just imagine being in Jupiter, you will have what? 79 moons around you. But here we have only one moon, right? So that was just a question to make you think and answer. Try it out. Now, the next topic which we are going to learn today is measurement of small distances. Now, today we are going to see the measurement of small distances. In our previous class, we learned about the measurement of large distances, distance of moon, sun, planets, everything, correct? Using parallax method, radar, sonar, okay, echo ranging, all these things we saw. But today we are going to study about the other scale, okay, which is very small beyond our imagination. Okay, so that is what is the topic today, measurement of small distances, very small distances. You know that a vernier caliper, okay, so already we discussed this. The vernier caliper is generally used to measure distances of 10 power minus 4 meter. For understanding, you can imagine it to be the thickness of a paper. Okay, so the thickness of a paper is approximately 10 power minus 4 meter. That can be measured using what? A vernier caliper. What if something is lesser than that? Okay, a very fine film. Okay, that can be measured using what? A screw gauge, which can measure up to 10 power minus 5 meter. What if it is smaller than that? Micrometer, 10 power minus 6 meter, which is equal to what? Micrometer. This is called micrometer, 10 power minus 6 meter. Definitely you cannot use any instruments like vernier caliper and screw gauge to measure it, man. You have to use what? A microscope, an optical microscope. An optical microscope means microscope which uses light. Okay, so when you have very small tiny particle and when light waves hit on it, that will be reflected back and you will be able to what? See the particle. Using that simple concept, you use what? An optical microscope to view objects of 10 power minus 6 meter. Okay, but even optical microscope has its own limitation. I'll tell you why. Because light is a wave, okay, light is an electromagnetic wave, so it travels like this. So light waves will travel like this, okay. And if you have a particle which is very small, which is smaller than the wavelength of light, if you have a particle like this, definitely this light will hit and get what? Reflected back. You can see that using what? A microscope. But what if the particle is very small and you use light waves, what? Seen that? That is not possible because light waves will cross over that and that will not have any what? Effect in the light wave. So you cannot view small objects which is beyond or which is smaller than what? The wavelength of visible light using optical microscope. Okay, so the wavelength of visible light is 4000 angstrom to 7000 angstrom. Okay, the visible light is generally 4000 to 7000 angstrom. Angstrom means it is what? 10 power minus 10 meter. 10 power minus 10 meter. So using an optical microscope, you cannot see beyond 10 power minus 6 or maximum you can see till 10 power minus 7, not beyond that. Okay, so what if the particles are 10 power minus 8 meters, okay, or smaller than that? You use electron microscopes, and which uses what? Electron beams. Okay, electrons can also act like waves. You will study in higher classes. Electrons are particles, but they can also act like what? Waves. This is called dual nature of matter. Okay, mass can act like a wave, and waves can be what? Acting like as if they are having mass. So this is called dual nature. You will be studying it in higher classes. So for measuring distances which are smaller than the wavelength of light, you cannot use what? Optical microscope. You use electron microscope. And recently there is another microscope called tunneling microscope, which can easily measure up to what? 10 power minus 10 meter. That is, it can use to what? View atoms and molecules itself. Okay, so still they are improving in all these fields, correct? So these are the instruments you can use for what? Viewing very small distances and measuring it. Okay, so vernier caliper, screw gauge, optical microscope, electron microscope and tunneling microscope. Okay, so till we can even what? Today see the size of the molecule using a tunneling microscope and measure it. So this is what is the topic today. But now we will see the next topic where we are going to see find the size of a molecule, okay, by an indirect method. Okay, so we'll see that now. Okay students, now let's see the next topic, which is the estimation of molecular size of folic acid. Okay, so here we are going to take a molecule called oleic acid, okay, which is having a size of 10 power minus 9 meter, and you know that 10 power minus 9 meter is what? 1 nanometer, a very small molecular size. So directly it is what? Difficult to measure such lengths. Okay, so what we are going to do is, here we are going to use an indirect method. Okay, what is an indirect method? Oleic acid is a fatty acid, It is an unsaturated fatty acid. You would have studied in your 10th standard, correct? It is a carboxylic acid and it doesn't dissolve in what? Water. Okay, so this has a big carbon chain which does not allow it to what? Dissolve in water. So it is like an oil. Okay, it is present in olive oil, it is present in avocado. Okay, the avocado and other vegetables and fruits also. So the oleic acid is going to be what? Dropped on water. A few drops of oleic acid is going to be what? Dropped on water so that it forms a thin film. Just like you drop a few drops of oil in water, it will form a film, correct? Yes, it will not dissolve in water but float in water. In the same way, we are going to create a thin film of oleic acid. Okay, here the oleic acid is going to be represented as OA. Okay, so since I have shortage of space in most of the spaces, I have written it as what? OA. So it is oleic acid, right? Now the first step in this process, or the idea behind this, is to create what? A monomolecular layer of oleic acid on water surface. So you're going to take a bucket of water, a big trough of water, okay, and add a few drops of what? Oleic acid to it, and this oleic acid will spread out. Okay, by its nature it will spread out to form what? A complete circle. Okay, it will form a circular layer, and approximately what? Circular layer. The point is, it will form monomolecular layer. The molecules will not be arranged like this. If this is water, the molecules will not be what? Arranged or stacked one over the other. They will spread out to form what? Monomolecular layer. That means the thickness of the layer will be what? Size of the molecule. The thickness of the oleic acid layer will be the size of the molecule. So if you are going to create a layer of oleic acid in water and measure the thickness of that film, that oil film, you can easily find what? The molecular size of oleic acid. So this is the idea behind it. So you're going to create a monomolecular. Mono means one molecular layer. Only one molecule is going to be present above water. One molecules will be what? Arranged like this. They will not be what? Stacked one over the other. So if you are able to create a monomolecular layer of oleic acid on water surface, the thickness of this film will be equal to what? The size of the molecule. So we are going to find the thickness of this film. Okay. For that, what you should do is, you should first have a dilute solution of oleic acid. Okay. We will create that solution first. 1 centimeter of pure oleic acid is in alcohol. Okay. You take 1 centimeter of 1 centimeter cube. Okay. Volume now 1 centimeter cube of, or almost 1 ml. So you take 1 centimeter cube of oleic acid and mix it with 19 centimeter cubes of alcohol. So 1 centimeter oleic acid, mix it with what? 19 centimeter cube of what? Alcohol. Why do you want to mix it with alcohol, ma? It is soluble in alcohol only, it will not be what? Soluble in water. So you mix it with what? 19 centimeter cube of alcohol. So the total solution will be what? 20 centimeter cube. So 1 centimeter cube of oleic acid in alcohol to make a solution of 20 centimeter cube. Now we have a solution of 20 centimeter cube. But take 1 centimeter cube from this solution. Take 1 centimeter cube solution from this and dilute it to form what? 20 centimeters using alcohol. That means take 1 centimeter cube of solution from the first solution, prepare the solution. Okay, then you mix it with what? Again 19 centimeter cube of alcohol. Okay, first you are taking 1 centimeter cube of oleic acid and mixing it with 19 centimeter cube to make the solution 20 centimeter cube. From this, again take 1 centimeter cube of the solution and add it to what? 19 centimeter cube of alcohol. Okay, finally again the solution will be what? 20 centimeter cube, but you have diluted twice it. Okay, first 20 times, then again you have diluted it what? 20 times. So what will be the concentration of oleic acid in this solution? That is the next thing. Concentration of the solution. Okay, what is present in the solution mainly? Okay, the solute is oleic acid and the solvent is only what? Alcohol. Okay, so the concentration of oleic acid is actually 1 by 20 into 20. Double the times we diluted, first 20 times we diluted, then from that, if you add 20 centimeter to this, you will put plus here. Okay, it becomes 1 centimeter cube and 40 centimeter cube. But you didn't do that. What you did is took 1 centimeter, added it to what? 19 centimeter cube. Then you took 1 centimeter cube from this and what? Added to form to 20 centimeter cube. Correct? So you are what? Actually, it is equivalent to adding 1 centimeter cube of oleic acid to 400 centimeter cubes of what? Alcohol, almost. But We cannot spend 400 ml of alcohol simply just like that. No, so that is why this method is adopted. Okay, instead of wasting 400 ml of what is that alcohol, 400 centimeter cube of alcohol, we can do this just by using almost 40 centimeter cube of alcohol. You can get the same concentration, same dilution. Okay, so 1 by 20 into 20 centimeter cube of oleic acid is present in what? 1 centimeter cube of solution. Now from the final solution, if you take 1 centimeter cube of the solution, you will have how much oleic acid? 1 by 400 centimeter cube of oleic acid in this. So this is the concentration of oleic acid in the final solution or the second diluted solution. Now, okay, so you have created oleic acid and you know the concentration of oleic acid in 1 centimeter cube of the solution. Now take a big trough, add water to it, okay, fill it with water, then you should put lycopodium powder, okay. Lycopodium powder also is not completely soluble in water. It will also form a thin layer, okay. So it will form a thin layer, okay. Initially the entire surface of the water will be filled with what? Lycopodium powder. Instead of that, you can use cork powder also, okay. The bottle cork is there now, small wood pieces. It will be like wood pieces. So if you powder that and sprinkle it, it will just spread throughout the water surface. Now, if you take oleic acid and drop it, immediately this will spread out and send the lycopodium powder to the sides, and this oleic acid will form what? An approximately circular layer, so that it is clearly visible. Okay, so lycopodium powder will give the contrast to that oleic acid, and it will be what? A circular film of oleic acid will be clearly visible on water. Okay, so now you can have a clear solution of what? Or a thin film of oleic acid on water. Okay, imagine that it is a circular film. If it is a circular film, it should have some thickness also. No, okay. We consider papers to be what? 2-dimensional, but they also have what? A 3rd dimension thickness. Correct? Now only we saw that using a vernier caliper, you can calculate the thickness of what? Paper, like that. This circular layer, this circular film also has what? A thickness. I have represented the side view of this. Imagine that this is water and this is what? The oleic acid layer. That will have a thickness, no? So here, as I told you, the molecules are present like this. They are monomolecular thick, correct? They are monomolecular thick like this. So if you find the thickness of this film, you are actually finding what? The molecular size of oleic acid, okay? So for that, now you know the concentration of solution, correct? Okay. For this, for finding the thickness, okay, for example, I will tell you about a cylinder. Imagine that there is a circle. If it has a height, it becomes what? A cylinder, correct? The area of this will be what? Let the area be A. You know that it is pi r square, correct? And what is the volume? The entire volume will be equal to what? Pi r square h, correct? And what is the area? It is pi r square. So when you divide the volume by the area, you will get what? Height, correct? You will get the height. So the same concept, same simple mathematical application we are going to do here. Okay, so that is why we calculated the concentration perfectly. Okay, now we know the volume of oleic acid. Okay, volume of oleic acid, and also we are going to calculate what? The area of oleic acid. Okay, volume almost we have calculated. Now we will calculate what? Area. For finding the area, what you should do is you should simply using a scale. Okay, this will be a few centimeters. Okay, in length. Okay, so easily you have to just keep a scale and what? Measure the diameter of this film. Okay, so this circular film has a diameter. Once you measure that using the radius, you can use this formula pi r square to calculate the area. So understand that area can be what? Easily calculated. Now next, for finally calculating the exact volume, let the volume of one drop, okay, just imagine that you have added 3 drops, 3 drops of that final solution, okay, but that final solution is not fully of what? Oleic acid. It also contains alcohol, correct? Yes, the final solution has what? Alcohol, no, only a very little part of it is what? Oleic acid. That is why we have written the concentration here. So, let the volume of 1 drop of oleic acid be V centimeter cube. That you can calculate using a pipette. When you are dropping itself, you can calculate it using a pipette. So, let the volume of 1 drop be V centimeter cube. And imagine that you have dropped n drops. Let it be 3 or 4 drops. For n drops, what will be the volume? 1 drop is V centimeter cube. N drops will be what? N into V centimeter cube. Correct? Yes. Now, what is the volume of oleic acid in this? Okay. Remember, this N V centimeter cube is volume of the solution, the total solution with oleic acid and alcohol. But what is the volume of oleic acid in that particular total volume of the solution. Okay, here using this relation we found out in 1 centimeter cube of solution you have what? 1 by 20 into 20 centimeter cube of folic acid in 1 centimeter cube of solution. That means in NV centimeter cube of solution you will have what? NV into 1 by 20 into 20 centimeter cube of what? Folic acid. Correct? So you have to multiply this with what? This to get what? The volume of folic acid. Okay, so 1 centimeter contains this, then what will NV centimeter contain? Multiply it, you will get the answer. Correct? Now this is what? The volume of folic acid, the total volume of folic acid present in this film. And as I told you, we also calculated the area. Let it be what? A centimeter cubes. Okay, now finally, as I told you, thickness will be equal to volume by area. Correct? Thickness or height will be equal to what? Volume by area. So here you have volume of the film by area of the film, and you know that volume is this. Correct? NV into 1 by 20 into 20 centimeter cube, and area is A centimeter square. See the unit centimeter cube by centimeter square, so the final unit will be in what? Centimeters, and A I have written here in the denominator. So this is the final formula. So if you know the number of drops N and the volume, okay, so volume of each drop, using a paper you can find that, and area can be what? Found using normal measurement. So if you know these three values, you can easily calculate what? The thickness of the film, and that thickness of the film is actually the molecular size of folic acid, which is approximately 1 nanometer. So it is very small, unimaginable. Okay, 1,000th of a micrometer, which is not at all visible, but we can calculate using what? Indirect method. So hope you understood this clearly, ma'am. Okay, so first we are creating what? A monomolecular layer of folic acid and water. Okay, so the 1 centimeter cube of folic acid is mixed with 19 centimeter cube of alcohol to form 20 centimeter cube. From that 1 centimeter cube solution is what? Mixed with 19 centimeter cube of alcohol again to form a final solution of 20 centimeter cube, and in that solution the concentration of folic acid is 1 by 20 into 20 centimeter cube of folic acid and 1 centimeter cube of the solution. Okay, so now you got the concentration of what? Folic acid, okay, per 1 centimeter cube. But if you are adding each drop is V centimeter cube, and if you are adding N drops, the total volume will be what? N into V centimeter cube of the solution. Okay, N into V centimeter cube of the solution. Okay, so in that how much folic acid will be present? NV centimeter cube into this value. Correct? So you get the volume of folic acid, then you also can calculate the area of folic acid. Volume by area will give you the thickness of folic acid, which is nothing but the molecular size of folic acid. Okay, so this is the important topic discussed today. Please make notes and copy it, and in case if you have any doubts, please contact me. Okay, right. Next students, the topic is range of lengths now. Okay, so these are all general topics which you can learn it from your textbook itself. Okay, just the range of lengths. They will be talking about the smallest of the range of lengths, which is what? The nucleus of an atom, which is around 10 power minus 14 to 10 power minus 15 meter. Okay, and they will be also talking about the length of the entire observable universe. Size of the entire observable universe is 10 power 26 meters. Okay, 10 power 26 meters is the length of the observable universe scientists have calculated. So you can study about those things from your textbook. Okay, and they have given you some special units of length. Okay, for example, now we learned about angstrom. Correct? 1 angstrom is what? 10 power minus 10 meter. Like that, 1 nanometer is 10 power minus 9 meter. 1 micrometer is 10 power minus 6 meter. And 1 millimeter is what? 10 power minus 3 meter. 1 centimeter is 10 power minus 2 meter. Like this, we know the basic things, but in a very small and very large scales also they are given some special units. 1 Fermi, okay, 1 F or 1 Fermi is equal to what? 10 power minus 15 meter. Okay, so one of the smallest length you can calculate. Then 1 angstrom we study 10 power minus 10 meters, and you have 1 AU, okay, which is very important. 1 astronomical unit. Okay, 1 astronomical unit is the distance between, or average distance between the sun and the earth. Okay, so the average distance between the sun and the earth. Please remember that the orbit is not exactly circular. Okay, it is elliptical, so you don't call it the radius. It is what? The average radius. Okay, that is the average distance between the sun and the earth. That is called what? 1 astronomical unit, and you know that is equal to what? 150 or approximately 149 million kilometers. Okay, it is 1.496 into 10 power 11 meters. Okay, you would have found this also. Yes or no? In that example sum also this would have been given, right? So this is one astronomical unit. And what is the next topic is 1 light year, okay, 1 light year, which is equal to 9.46 into 10 power 15 meters. So what is this light year? It tells year, correct? Light year, like seconds, days, weeks, years. It tells years, but the name is misleading. That is why in most of the cases they will specify this. Light year is the unit of distance, not time. Okay, 1 light year is the distance traveled by light in 1 year. Okay, we know that light travels 3 lakh kilometers, 3 into 10 power 8 meters in 1 second. Correct? In 1 second it will travel 3 lakh kilometers. Okay, wow. Then how much it will travel in 1 year? If it is continuously traveling for 1 year at the speed in 1 second it will travel 3 lakh kilometers, correct? That means in 1 year how much it will travel? That is this value, 9.46 into 10 power 15 meters, and this is a very big unit of what? Length, which is light years. Okay, so it is used to calculate the distance of other galaxies from the home galaxy, Milky Way galaxy, and other astronomical distances now. And you have 1 parsec. Okay, so which is 1 parsec is another very large unit of what? Distance, which is 3.08 into 10 power 16 meters. Okay, 3.08. See, you may think, sir, why are it is 10 power 15, 10 power 16 only, no? Then why are you telling it is very large? See, imagine that you are lost 1,000 rupees, and imagine that you have lost 10,000 rupees. Okay, just by adding a zero, and if you add one more zero to 10,000, it will be what? 1 lakh rupees. Okay, and in 1 lakh, if you add one more zero, it will become what? 10 lakhs, and to that, if you add one more zero, it will become 1 crore. So, just as the magnitude increases, just by adding one zero, the value will what? Drastically increase. So, it is almost 10 times light year, okay, if this is light year, this is going to be what? Parsec, and this distance itself, it is, you know that it is really what? Unimaginable. Okay, so please understand that even a small zero will have a what? Big difference in the magnitude. And what is this parsec? You know, this distance between the sun and the earth is very large, correct? It is almost 150 million kilometers. Imagine that from a point you are taking this distance between the sun and the earth is taken away from a particular point, okay, to a very far point till it makes what? An angle of 1 second here. That is really a very big distance, okay. So you see here, it will almost be around 90 degrees or more than the correct till this distance between the sun and the earth, okay, will make a 1 second angle, okay, at a particular point. So the distance between that particular point and this astronomical unit is actually calculated as what? 1 parsec, okay. So that is a very big distance. And don't try to memorize these things, okay. So in CBSE mostly these values will be given, but just for curiosity you understand the magnitude of these things now, okay. So that's all about range of lengths given in your textbook. Then you have measurement of mass, range of mass, and measurement of time, okay. All these are very general topics and nothing much to teach about that, okay. So measurement of mass and time is given in what? General terms, okay. Time is calculated using atomic clocks. You can go through that in your textbooks. In our next class, we'll be learning about accuracy, precision, and errors in measurement. Okay, so now we know how to measure, correct? So when you're measuring, different persons will give what? Different readings, correct? So which one is accurate, which one is precise, and which has errors. So all these things are going to be dealt with in our next video. So please learn the concepts which you have learned today and stay safe. Meet you in our next video. Thank you and bye.